students, welcome to Shri Sith Vidyapith School. I hope you all doing good and staying safe from this COVID-19. So students, today we are going to discuss the question and answers of the chapter The Great Indian Bustard. In the last video we read the chapter. We got to know about the Great Indian Bustard. It's a great Indian bird. We got to know in that chapter, we got to know about the where how the bird is, the how the species is going to an extent, how we can protect the bird. There are several ways, there are several in that chapter we read about several reasons of the species going to an extent, and how we can protect that bird, how we young people take the initiative to protect the bird. The Great Indian Bustard, the only 150 species are now left in India, and many are disappearing due to the several reasons of this expansion of agricultural fields, this mechanized farming, and how the Great Indian bird having the variations like long legs and the extent facing, and it lays eggs on ground, and how the eggs are how it's threatened for that bird to keep those eggs safe from predators like dogs, like any other predators. Dogs are the most deadly threat to that eggs. They dogs can easily eat that egg. So in today we are going to solve the question and answers of this chapter. So let's start it. Students, use your prescribed textbook for better understanding. See on page number 21 the reading comprehension right below the chapter. Answer these questions within 20 words each. Who is Miss Paul? Miss Paul is a wildlife researcher. Where does the Great Indian Bustard live? The Great Indian Bustard lives in wide open landscapes which have spruce, grasses and shrubs. How can we say that the GIB is not the heaviest bird? Though the Great Indian Bustard is the heaviest fly in India, the Kori bustard found in Africa is the heaviest. How do high tension electric wires affect the Great Indian Bustard? When a Great Indian Bustard dashes against high tension electric wires located in its habitat, it gets electrocuted. Move on to next one. Answer these questions in 30 to 40 words each. Explain the food habits of the GIB. The GIB feeds on grass seeds, agricultural crops such as groundnuts and millets, as well as insects such as grasshoppers and beetles. It also eats rodents and lizards. Its diet varies according to the season. Why should the mother GIB be careful? The mother GIB has to be careful because the eggs are exposed to grave danger from predators. Dogs often eat the eggs. She has to incubate the egg for 25 days before it is hatched, and has to safeguard both the egg and the chick, and she has to do it alone with no support from the male bird. How many of these birds are still left? Where can they be found? There are only 150 of these birds left in India. Most of them can be seen in Rajasthan and Gujarat, and there are some birds in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Move on to next one. Answer these questions in 80 to 100 words each. Why does Miss Paul fear that the GIB may meet the same fate as the dodo? Miss Paul fears that the Great Indian Bustard may meet the same fate as the dodo because several factors threaten its extents. The bird is hunted in Pakistan, and poaching is prevalent in India. The expansion of agricultural fields and the increase in mechanized farming have been responsible for the loss of natural habitats of the GIB. Dogs often eat the eggs, and sometimes, when the GIB dash against high tension electric waves, they get electrocuted. Sometimes these birds are also hit by fast moving vehicles. Protecting any species requires joint efforts by institutes and scientific organizations, government departments, and NGOs. Explain. The conservation of endangered species can only become effective when people become aware of the factors that are responsible for the decline in their number and take adequate steps to ensure that they are protected. This can be carried out only if institutes, scientific organizations, government departments, and NGOs work together. Research helps to understand the issues that are responsible for the extinction of such species. Scientists help to look at possible ways to address the issues, while the government can allocate the funds necessary to carry out the steps advocate. It can also enact suitable laws as well as ensure that they are implemented. NGOs can create awareness and support conservation efforts. Ms. Paul tells Anup the future and safety of wildlife and the environment lies in the hands of young people like you. How do you think young people can help to protect wildlife? Young people have an important role in the conservation of wildlife. They can research and find information regarding the endangered species, why they are in danger, and what steps can be taken to protect them. They can share this information with their friends. Together, they can strive to spread this message of conservation of the species and protection of their habitats. As the youth are the future, they have to take up arms to protect the environment, conserve natural resources, and safeguard endangered species by creating awareness and implementing the measures necessary to fulfill their aim. So, students, here are the solutions for this question and answers. Nicely fare it in your class note copy. Read it, revise it, learn it, read the chapter. I hope you will fairly copy it in your class note copy. So, if you have any doubts regarding this chapter, you can ask me. I am going to clear it out in the next video. Thank you.